everyone! My name is Kristiana Sfirlea, and I am the author of Legend of the Storm Sneezer. I've been writing since I was your age, so I'm very excited to get to talk with all of you today. I want to share with you one of my deepest, darkest secrets. I am terrified of librarians. It's true! I'm an author, a bookworm, and I'm scared to death of librarians. One of the things I've done to try and get over this fear is to take cookies to my local library on a regular basis. Whether it's Christmas, Valentine's Day, or just because, I'll march up to the front desk, hand over the plate of cookies, and do my best to smile while I'm sweating buckets. When my book came out last year, I wanted to have my book launch party, which is kind of like a birthday party for a new book, at my local library. But you know what that meant? Talking to a librarian to set it up. I've never been more terrified in my life. I went to the library and asked the ladies at the front desk who I should talk to. They told me to talk to the service desk in the adult section, so that's where I went. I picked the nicest looking librarian at the desk, took a deep breath, and explained that I was a new author and it would mean the world to me if I could have a room at the library for my book launch party. I'll never forget what happened next. She looked me up and down, shook her head, and said, "Nobody knows you and nobody cares." I thought I must have heard her wrong. No one could be that rude and unkind, right? "No worries," she repeated it several times, with increasing volume. "No one's going to come to your party. Nobody knows you and nobody cares." Her coworkers started shooting her these shocked looks and scooting away like, "Doop-de-doo, I don't work with this crazy lady." But she just kept getting louder and louder, in a library. I wanted to give her a good shh, but I was almost crying, so I didn't. I just wanted to leave, but the librarian kept going. Finally, she said she wanted to look my book up on Amazon and asked for my full name. I told her, Kristiana Sfirlea. She stopped dead, looked up with horror-struck eyes, and said, "You're the cookie people?" Yes, this was the worst experience I've had with a librarian to date, but it's also been the most helpful. Every time I put myself out there and try something new, I can hear her voice in the back of my head going, "Nobody knows you and nobody cares." And it motivates me. It motivates me to really know the people that I meet and really care about them, and remind others to do the same. Because each of us is worth being known and cared about, and our dreams too. If you've ever felt like nobody knows you and nobody cares, it's not true, and you're not alone. Legend of the Storm Sneezer is full of characters who are finding their place and making room for others, too. I'd like to tell you more about my book, or rather, show you.
Rose Schuyler sneezed a magical storm cloud at birth, and it's followed her around ever since. But when Stormy causes too many disasters, Rose is taken to an asylum in a haunted forest whose trees have turned to stone. Guided by time-traveling letters, Rose teams up with her future selves and her maybe imaginary best friend to save her storm cloud and solve the mystery of the specters and the stone trees. But will they find what killed the ghosts before what killed the ghosts finds them?
Now that you know the gist of Legend of the Storm Sneezer, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the book. Entry 1. Hello Darkness, my new friend. Oh, the joys of being your own babysitter. Self-employment had never tasted so sweet. Yes, lack of pay was a slight disadvantage, but why would a girl be counting coins when she could be counting the steps from her house to the heart of a forbidden forest? Of course, just because she was her own babysitter didn't mean she was alone strolling the backwoods of her family's estate. Rose was never alone, not with the little gray storm cloud following her wherever she went. Inside, outside, in the bathtub or in bed, there it was, dripping raindrops like a runny nose. Lightning combed her curls till every strand was a live wire, and the thunder, well, like most uncomfortable noises, thunder picked the absolute worst times to crack. Her storm cloud was, without any competition, the biggest nuisance in the domain of Chunter Woods. Gosh, she loved that thing. I'm a good babysitter, aren't I? Rose asked her storm cloud. Stormy considered this, fluttering in thought, and patted her head affirmatively. Her hair poofed like a kernel of popcorn. Thought so. She nodded in satisfaction. She really was a good babysitter, qualified in all babysitting necessities, such as storytelling, how to open child safety locks, and... Can we do that thing where you sock someone in the stomach when they're choking? Stormy swooped, ramming between her ribs with the force of a fist. Rose's belly flopped on the ground, supplies spilling out of her rucksack. Good, she wheezed. Good to know. When her lungs filled with air again, Rose got up and recovered her fallen equipment. The best babysitters always come well prepared. She'd packed chocolate bars and strawberries for sustenance, a wooden sword for protection. Oh, don't laugh. Wooden swords can be very threatening. When was the last time you pulled a half-inch splinter from your skin? And her scarlet umbrella, which served no purpose whatsoever, except to twirl over her shoulder and bring out the color of her red and gray wings. Umbrellas were for indoor use, where mothers preferred wet floors to soggy bread and rain-soaked tablecloths at dinner. Given the choice, Mama would prefer her house bone dry at all times, but particularly when she had company over, which was why she shooed Rose outside every Tuesday afternoon while she hosted her ladies' knitting club. Rose shook out her feathers and reached for the final object from her rucksack. It was Blackout's Tales, the famous 800-page anthology of old world legends, and the reason she was traipsing through the woods today, same as every Tuesday the past year. Do you know how many Tuesdays there are on a calendar? A lot. A lot. And she and Stormy had spent every one of them following the example left behind by the greatest legend seeker to ever live. Blackout was a man who devoted years to chasing down ancient scholars. Okay, maybe not chasing, they were pretty ancient, but like power walking, to collect their stories of the old world in the book that would earn him his name. And once Blackout's Tales was complete, Blackout dedicated the rest of his days to storytelling, traveling from realm to realm, regaling the masses with his life's work. What Rose wouldn't have given to hear him speak and experience his trademark move firsthand. See, the book earned him his name, but the feat at the end of recitals earned him his fame. When Blackout finished his stories, he would close the cover of Blackout's Tales, stand up from his storyteller's chair, and sing. It was a lullaby laced with magic, one that swept his listeners into oblivion. And as they blacked out, Blackout himself would disappear from the crowd, exiting the town the way he did everything else, without a trace. Ages had passed since Blackout's death, but his legends remained, and Rose was going to seal his legacy forever. She was gonna prove that the legends of Blackout's Tales were true. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek of Legend of the Storm Sneezer, and I'm so excited to answer your questions. Talk soon!